Hey Paddy, thank you for showing us more about growing spuds and growing salad.
Yes.
And a song later on.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, we'll do that, yes. So we'll start off, we're going to actually look at some salad leaves, and this is one of the most common one. It's a lovely one. It's lettuce. Beautiful. So there they are, the little lettuce seeds, and they're quite small. And we sow them, and here we have the result after you sow them quite thickly together. So there they are again. So they're growing up quite strong. And now we're going to prick them out. The lovely pricking out is called. So we're going to do this technique into one of the module trays. Here we have the module tray, and we're going to put them into that individually. So that gives them room to grow. And when we grow them on, then we actually get to this stage. And this is what we're hoping to get. A real mixture of salad leaves. There we have them.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
So if you have an event coming up, you can plan your event.
Yeah.
You can plant your seeds,
Yeah.
all of that. How long would it take you? Would
Well,
you have to plan a few weeks in advance?
Yeah, it's usually about a month before you would put them out in the garden or into the polytunnel. So from sowing the seeds, it usually takes a month. So that's the way you judge it.
Oh, I so look forward
Yeah,
to it.
so it's lovely to do this, and when we have them this stage, little small stage, we have to very carefully prick them out. So what we're going to do here is actually we'll put them up on top here so you can see them. So we're going to actually just take them out very gently from the compost. And remember, this compost is a mixture of your potting compost or your seed compost and a bit of sharp sand or vermiculite, which is another thing as well. So we're just doing this very, very gently, and you have to lift them very carefully without destroying them. And then you just pull them apart. There they are. So there's a little plant. You see the little roots? And now we're going to plant them a little deeper into this tray. So there's a little plant there. So we'll just show you that. So again, we just made a hole with a pencil, very nice and deep into the little modular tray. And then we guided in using the pencil right down nice and deep into the compost, as deep as you can get, just up to the leaves, and then you press it in nice and gently. So there's one, look at that, an individual little lettuce. And then we've so lovely things here. So we'll do another one just to show you the technique. And again, you just pull them apart very gently so you don't damage them. There we go again, there's two. So we just pull them apart there very gently. And look at that beautiful root system again. Lovely, quite a big one this time. So we might make the hole a little bit bigger. And we press it down into the hole then, nice and deep.
I notice you're holding the leaf.
Yeah, you can, as long as you're very careful not to damage the leaves. It can be leaf, you can lift them with the leaf, or as this case, there's a seed leaf there down at the bottom, and this is a true leaf here at the top. So as long as you're very careful, and you don't grip it with the stem sometimes, the stem is very vulnerable for pressure. So there it is. So you just be careful with that.
You
so
think it's happy in its new home?
Oh, it's lovely. And there's plenty of space in between. So those are an individual plant that are going to grow up onto a big lettuce. Right, so there's lots of different leaves in the salad range. There's Mizuna, and there's Mabuna, another one. And of course, rocket is a very famous one as well. So a lot of these plants are a real mixture of flavors. This is a hot one, kind of like a peppery type flavor. And then your salad leaves are all different textures and different colors as well. The color is not showing up at the moment, but when they get out in the sunshine, they'll actually go very dark and very red, some of them. And then some of them will go very nice light green. So here we are, we're just going to do the whole tray here, individual trays made with those, and they will grow up similar to this. So the watering in is very important, Kathleen, just to make sure the little plant is surrounded by water to start off, and it won't dry out. So that's very important.
And we'll be keeping them in, not in the house anymore, but
No,
in this
yeah,
glass
the
house.
glass house is a grand place, or you could do it on a conservatory if you had one, or if you had a cold frame outside, a frame that's just covered, so it just protects it from the weather. So you were trying to get these little plants up to a certain height. So we'll show you later on about planting out in the beds, so that goes on later on. So those plants here have to grow, so they have to grow a little bit more and fill that space. So once they're filled the space, that means they're ready for planting out.
They're getting stronger and stronger.
Stronger, so that you want them actually as a good formed plant in a little pot, it's in the little individual trays, and then we take them very carefully out, and then we cover them with fleece, and I'll show you that just later in the garden.
This is part of the salad too. These are leaves that you can eat.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so these are just pea shoots, they call them, you see. So what I do is, when they're this stage, I just pick off and eat. Beautiful, Kathleen.
Is it very tasty?
Yeah, it is very tasty. So these are pea shoots, and you can grow them again at different stages. So I am eating those at the minute for salads this evening. I'll be eating a bit of this and a bit of salads. And then these are peas I put in after those, and look at them now, they're beginning to come on. And very shortly they'll be this size, right? Or what I can do is put those peas out in the garden as well, depending on the weather. So they're dual purpose. So the pea shoots, I always do a little pea shoots and have some more coming on all the time, right into the salad days. So this is a lovely start.
There's a special pea that is specially for salads.
Salads, yeah, they're pea shoots. But you can use ordinary peas as well. You know, anything at all that you have in your collection.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah, they're very good.
They're
so
just
nice.
like
they're very
just so entertaining.
Yeah, and these are little tendrils here, they call those, and the tendrils grip on to climbing, so they climb up to different heights depending on the variety. Some of them are 3 feet, some of them 6 feet. And the little tendrils wrap around any support that they can get. So normally I put in twigs, nice branched twigs for support. So these are for eating now, and those there eating later on, and then I'll have another batch for planting outside. So it's a lovely sequence all the time. You're always planting and so on.
Paddy, this is the next thing. The potato is in every household, and I would love to hear how I can make it good and strong like these ones here.
Yeah. So here we are. These are potatoes that are chitted, and that's a big name there, chitted. Well, this is a chit here. It's actually a little shoot called a chit. And the reason you do this is to get an early start to the new potatoes. So we want new potatoes as early as we can. So this is a way of doing it. So this is a first early potato, and there's 3 different types of potatoes. This is called Colleen, a beautiful Irish potato. It was developed in Ireland, Colleen, a lovely name. And this is another one here, Charlotte, a beautiful potato as well. So you see there's a bit of difference in them, not a lot of difference, but there's a little difference in them. And this is a second early. And then there's a main crop potato. And this is a lovely main crop, it's called Sharpomira, all the way from Hungary, I think. So this is another lovely spud for main crop. And the difference between them as an early crop is the earliest potato, they're bred specially to be early, and you would be eating those hopefully in June. So you plant them now after St. Patrick's Day, usually around that time. And the reason is it develops very fast and then stops growing. So it's developed especially for the early market, the early new potato. And then Charlotte is a lovely potato, mostly for salad potatoes, a beautiful salad potato, and hits a second early. And you plant that a bit later, maybe into April, end of March. So they would be ready in July, see? And then the main crop potato would be planted even in May, and they would be ready for September, October. So they have a long life of growing, and they grow big potatoes, and they're for storing in the wintertime. So that's very important for storing. So there's 3 main types: early, second earlies, and main crop. So that's your main crop there. So 3 different potatoes. So the chits are, what you do is you put your early potato in the house in a kind of a bright place and frost-free. In other words, not a very cold room, but a nice room. So you want them to actually sprout. And when they sprout, this is what they do. They start growing using the energy in the potato. So once they start growing, that's a start that's already formed by the potato, and then you put them in the ground. So I'll show you how to plant one of those very carefully in the ground, because these here can be a bit fragile.
Okay, so remind me again, where do I leave them to grow those things?
The chits.
Not a dark place.
Not a dark place. A bright place, not direct sunlight, but bright, and a cool room. You know, so like a bedroom would be lovely. Or a kind
so
of
what's the potato doing? It's seeking?
It's actually growing. It's seeking the light,
growing.
the light. So it's seeking the light, and then the heat, the little bit of heat, makes it actually grow the shoots. And those shoots are going to be the leaves above the ground.
They are.
Yeah.
And the potatoes will grow from...
All right, there's roots come out of the bottom here, and then on the little side shoots will become your potatoes. So that they have to actually form at the very end of the process.
So they're going for the light, and the potatoes are going for the centre of the earth?
Yeah, that's right, the gravity, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. And then the little side shoots then would actually form the potato just under the surface of the ground. So it's lovely. But the potato is a lovely food, and it's a complete food in itself. So Ireland is one of the, I think, the second in the world of potato consumption. I think Portugal is the bigger one for some reason, but we love our potatoes. So we'll show you that planting out in the garden. Lovely. Here in my garden, quiet and serene, Carriehugh's the loveliest place that I have ever seen. The sun in the evening going to her rest. Yes, that's the time in Carriehugh, the time I love best. So Kathleen, here we have a bit of horticultural fleece, and it's a bit of material that actually goes over the top for protection and for keeping in a little bit of heat as well. So it's actually put it over the plant. Once it comes up, if there's a bit of frost forecast, you'll go out that evening, that day, and put it over the plants just to protect them for a short time. So it's very important. And we'll be using this horticultural fleece to cover over our little lettuce plants, or salad leaves later on as well. So when we bring them out from inside the glasshouse to plant in the garden, this will be a bit later on, we then put this material over the top of them, right nice and tight over the actual surface, and then it will protect them for a few weeks before removing it. So it's amazing material, and it just gives them that little bit of protection from the wind and from the cold. So it's very important to get them used to being outside. So they're very precious little things, and you just want to get them used to being outside. Brilliant. So it's a bit of a revolutionary material for doing this kind of work. So that's planting the potato and then protecting it from the frost. It's very important.
Thank you so much, Paddy.
Not at all, Kathleen. Look forward to the next installment.
Hey, good.
Very good fun.
I'm really excited actually about growing.
Ah, that's great, Kathleen. It's lovely.
Yeah. Especially the salads, because they're quite quick.
Oh, they're very quick, that's right.
Can I have a look in your polytunnel?
Oh yeah, take a little polytunnel. I have to move it.
We are inside the polytunnel, and it can be warm during the day and cool during the night.
That's right, yeah.
We've got, what do we got, Paddy?
We've got some cabbages here, and they're just beginning to form. You see the lovely water droplets there. We were watering earlier on because it's such a lovely day. And then down here we have a little bit of rocket, and we've been picking away at that all during the last month, which is coming on well, and it's trying to go to seed now. This is what happens. And then we'll be planting in between here lovely lettuces, just for an early lettuce. And over here we have miner's lettuce again, which is coming out lovely, and we're harvesting away at that. We're all the time picking off, so we just go along and just pick off a little bit of salad leaves there.
Amazing. There's great texture to that.
Beautiful.
And it's also keeping, well, it just covers the whole place.
Yeah, it's almost a mat on the surface so no weeds can grow. Clatonia is the name of this here, the special name. It's like miner's lettuce is what we are known as. So it's got this lovely shaped leaf, which is beautiful. And they get bigger and bigger, and eventually they go to seed, and the seed thing is a round, lovely round leaf with a lovely white flower in the centre. So they eventually go with a bit of heat, they'll start going to seed, and then that means then the lettuce will actually take over for them when they're finished. So the great thing about them, they supply their own seed to here. They're a bit of almost like a weed, because they just grow so well. A weed is just a plant growing in the wrong place. And then we have lovely decorative stuff in the garden there. Some lovely, see the lovely narcissi there, the daffodils. Yeah. And they give you a lovely bit of scent in the greenhouse, so it's lovely to have. They
smell great.
Yeah, lovely, great. So it gives you a lovely start of spring.
Well, thanks so much again for sharing your passion
of lovely.
Growing foods and growing plants and singing and
that's a joy.
And the birds, they're part of the bonus.
They've always got a chorus in the background, which is lovely.
It's really nice.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
Kathleen, here we are. We're going to sing a song about where I live. It's Carriehugh, a lovely townland. And we look out on the ocean, and our farm here is right in front of us, and the garden. So it's lovely to have it. So there's a song about it called Carriehugh. here in my garden, quiet and serene. Carryhugh's the loveliest place that I have ever seen. The sun in the evening going to her rest. Yes, that's the time in Carryhugh, the time I love the best. Down along the Foyle side, the tides they come and go. The river's right beside you here, you can see it flow. Down past Green Castle to the ocean, wild and free. All the way from Inishowen to the wild Atlantic Sea. I took my first adventures where the ocean waters flow. Yes, I have walked these fields are what I know. Spent some time in Sligo town, didn't do a thing for me. Yes, I believe that Carryhugh is where I was meant to be. Down along the Foyle side, the tides they come and go. The river's right beside you here, you can see it flow. Down past Green Castle to the ocean, wild and free. All the way from Inishowen to the wild Atlantic Sea. It's autumn in the garden, the nights are closing in. Oh, the days are growing colder, the light is growing dim. And neighbours coming homeward at the closing of the day. Just like me, Carryhugh is where they mean to stay. Down along the Foyle side, the tides they come and go. The river's right beside you here, you can see it flow. Down past Green Castle to the ocean, wild and free. All the way from Inishowen to the wild Atlantic Sea. All the way from Inishowen to the wild Atlantic Sea.